You ready?
30-second countdown.
You want to share it now? Because it's gonna this your only opportunity to share.
Sure.
The post.
You got 20 seconds.
Let me see.
Where am I?
The Pretty Petty Politics on Facebook.
You get to it, try to get to it. 9, 8, 7, 6,
I'm tagging.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to Pretty Petty Politics. I am here live tonight with none other than Danny Norris, candidate for Texas House District 142. How you doing?
Good.
I'm good. And
Good.
you've been busy today.
Very busy. Yeah.
Ripping and running. He just came in from a community event. Shout out to Pure Justice. That's where he's just arriving from. Pure Justice does amazing work here in Houston and beyond Harris County. So shout out to Sasha and Ro Evans. Thank you all for so much for all that you do for our community and how you support others in our community. So welcome.
Thank you.
It's your first time as long as
We've known each other for some years. Yes.
for some years.
Like.
But hey, don't say no number.
Okay.
Okay. No, not necessary.
Just a good number.
A good number of years. So you're running for State House.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, tell us about the first time you voted.
The first time I remember voting, I believe it was the 2000 election. So this was it was very interesting introduction to voting. That was,
Hanging chads.
yeah. So this was I think the election went all through the night. I was like, so it was like, okay, who's what? For those who don't remember, this was the Bush versus Gore election, and it went to Florida, and then Florida swung one way, then it swung another way. But it's basically spent a lot. So your state was the
This is my state.
This was your
But I know
state.
what you mean.
Yeah.
My home state.
Well, your home state, yeah, your home state.
My birth state.
Yeah, that's the state that was doing all the flipping and the flopping and all the interesting dynamics. So that was an interesting introduction. Then we had Bush after all the shenanigans. I think the Supreme Court actually put Bush in office, so it was that close. And then it's been an interesting ride from there. So, but yeah, and then I start because that was when I was 20 and I was only paying attention to presidential politics, and then I started paying more attention to midterms, and now I'm more, I tell one of my sayings now is the lower it is in your ballot, the closer it is to your front door.
Yes, sir.
So while most of us pay attention, not most, a lot of people pay attention to the big ticket items like the president, or governor, things like that. It's like that mayor or that school board member. Those are people you're going to see in your community versus
Absolutely.
we don't see the president strolling right here every day. We don't or the governor. So yeah.
Exactly. What's interesting about that, there's been a lot of critique about young people's voting patterns, and you bring a good point. Most people get introduced to voting during presidential election years.
Right.
That's when they get activated because it's so polarizing and big in your face. So I'm glad you brought that point out. So let's start with voting, and then we'll transition into your race.
Right.
What can leaders here in Harris County do to mobilize voters to vote up and down the poll every election? What would you recommend vote leaders do to mobilize voters, get them out? And I'm asking this because, we just came off of the special election runoff,
Yeah.
right? And we had dismal numbers.
Right.
Under 30,000 turned out. But I wasn't surprised. I thought that was actually more. I expected less than that,
Okay.
especially with the weather and all the things that happened. But how do we mobilize voters as leaders? I mean, elected leaders, not just community leaders.
Right.
How do elected leaders mobilize people?
Well, it's our job to connect the dots. Most people, when you ask them about voting, I used to teach at TSU, and when I used to register students to vote, they would always say, "Well, what's this got to do with me? Like I'm in class. This doesn't necessarily pay me any money. What's the real benefit to me?" And that just lets you know that there's a disconnect, and that's up to the elected officials to try to make sure that's brought to bear. Like, how does this affect your daily life? We don't do it very good in schools, clearly, because we have all these people coming into college, meaning they finish high school and they still don't know exactly how it affects them. So explaining, this is what I do that's going to affect you directly. This is how what I do affects your pocket. these are the opportunities I can bring that's going to affect you directly, and this is why you should pay attention to what I'm doing. So it really has to be, you have to draw a very clear line of this is how it affects your life directly. Otherwise, why do I care? What, you go to Austin and I don't, what are y'all doing down there? Or if you're in Congress, you go to DC and what are y'all doing down there? But if you say, wait a minute, that student loan forgiveness you're looking at, that's an elected official decision. If that job opportunity, what jobs are available for people coming out, those are things that are going to affect you directly. So, and that's going to have to be an education job that we have to do, is say, this is how, find out what they do, what's their interest, and then how do what I do affect that directly. Now you can pay a little bit more attention, because this is what I do that's going to affect you specifically.
Yeah. And, I just want to share this with viewers, 18 to 35 is the potentially largest voting block. However, 55 and older is the more active voting block.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are listening, I want you to challenge those electeds around you and ask them, what are they doing? I'm talking about your city council members, your county commissioners, your school board members, everyone who has some type of title, an elected title. I want you to ask them, what are you doing to mobilize voters? So.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I think the average age during the municipal race here is like in the 60s or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like 60, it's like a senior citizen age. So it's like, that's the average age.
Yeah.
And the average age of the voter, the average age of the
population.
Yeah, it's like half of that.
Yeah.
So we have a long way to go, to say the least.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when I left Pure Justice early, one of the things I did, since I had to leave before they had given candidates a chance to speak, I met a group of college students when I was at the MLK rally that were volunteering for Pure Justice, and I asked them, you mind speaking on my behalf? Because I said, because there's a number of elected officials around there that are going to want to know what motivated you to keep up this guy and this race as a young person. That's the part that we don't see a lot. So I was like, you can tell them, I'm running for this seat, and these are the big three things I'm looking to do. But this is specifically what inspired me about him to keep up with his race. And I think that would, I think all electeds need to figure that out, because like you said, they're a big piece that's missing. Yeah. And, we need to have more of them in the race, so that voting age can come, that average voting age can at least get to 40 or something. Yeah. Yeah, not 60s. That seems, that's the
reverse of the population.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And we do thank, we're not ignoring, but we do thank everyone who votes, and our seniors, our elders, but all voters matter, so to speak.
Right.
And we need to drive up voting. The United States fails at voting. We can talk about this all day.
Right.
But
let's talk about got that good civic lesson. I think they got better civics classes.
Absolutely.
Than we did when we came through, and beyond, especially now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything wasn't focused on the few things that they want to teach. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's pivot from that and get right into House District 142.
Okay. What's
the why? Why are you running for this seat?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. Why am I running? Why am I running against a 42-year incumbent, is what a lot of people are saying. So for those who don't know, I used to be on the county school board. My journey into politics, after the 2016 election, when Donald Trump won, I got motivated. I think Menifee says the same. There's a few of us that say the same story. When Donald Trump won, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. I can do way more than just fuss on Facebook about these issues. And then I found myself on the county school board because Sheila's daughter, Erica, former Congresswoman Erica Lee Carter was in that seat. And it was a 6-year term. She's like, I can't do another 6 years. Life is kind of busy, but if you want it, check, and I basically asked her, what does that seat do? And it does, I found out it affects a lot of kids that were disadvantaged, and a lot of them that were Black and brown. So I threw myself in that space. And then while on there, simultaneously, the HISD takeover was looming. So, it was a number of schools that were potentially putting the school district in jeopardy of getting taken over. Virtually all of them were in my precinct, which I represent the precinct 1 on that board. So Commissioner Ellis's precinct is the one I represent on that board. So it has pretty much all the big Black neighborhoods. It has 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, Acres Homes, Sunnyside, Hiram Clark, all those neighborhoods are in the district. And, pretty much all those schools were in those neighborhoods. So I had a chance to talk to some of those principals, a lot of those principals, and say, what kind of issues are you seeing? What can we do to help you on the county level? What kind of resources would y'all be helpful? And then I just found out a lot of them, after having some discussion with them, a lot of them just say, hey, we got a lot of kids that have life issues. So, if we can get them to the building, that's great. But a lot of times when they get home, they have other things to worry about. So, and that is an issue that's far beyond, I think HIC could always do more. As a former school board member, school districts could always do more. They can always make sure there's as many resources as they can to the most needy schools. But ultimately, in addition to that, you're going to have state and local intervention to help bring more resources to those communities. And that was the part that I don't think anybody, including the incumbent, was paying attention to. So
directing the resources directly.
Correct. And when and actually the incumbent in my race actually was one of the authors of that bill that got a chance to take it over, which is his own thing. So yeah. So when the takeover happened and it started badly, I had a discussion with him. It's like, hey, I don't know if this is not going well. You may get it back in office, you may not, but I'm gonna throw my hat in because you've been there for 40 some years already. And if you lose, you got a 40-year pension to go with, to have your exit, where somebody else might be in that seat. And then when I ran against him, and this is 2024, when I ran against him, this is when I realized you're not connecting the dots, that you got to do more than just try to get a literacy together for these kids. You really got to make sure that when they get home, mom and dad have resources, because that's the part that you seem to be missing. I mean, he basically framed it as, we're trying to say poor kids can't learn. And it's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But you don't have to be an educational expert to realize kids with more resources can afford things like tutor. They can afford, they can focus on work and not have to go drop out of school to go work and do basics. So, and when I realized that part was missing, and then a number of other things that came about, it's like, well, no, not only do I think that you might not get back in office. At one point, I was like, I don't know if you would get back in office. But at this point, it's like, I don't think you should get back in office, because if you haven't figured that out after 40 some years in this community, then it's time for you to go anyway. So, yeah, that's what my biggest focus has been. Listening to the community. I did a survey for the community, not surprisingly, in my district, which is which was the ground zero for the takeover. It's home of the cancer cluster, home of the lowest life expectancy in the county, home of the second lowest income in the county. One of the big concerns are income and economic opportunities. So, that's the biggest concern by far. Then the second biggest is the healthcare issues. Like I said, lowest life expectancy in the county and a number of other things. And then third is the education part. So people kind of want their pockets put together, they want their healthcare in order, and they want their educational opportunities for the future to be available, and in that order. So that has been my focus. And with the incumbent, he seems to be focusing on the education. And as a former school board member, I'm all for the education, but I feel like it's not quite in sync with what the community is looking for. So that's why I'm running to bring those opportunities from the state resources and partner with the local level. And I'm working at the city attorney's office to help partner those resources with the city and make those things actually happen for communities like mine. And I know people are like, well, you're a Democrat, how's that gonna work? You go into a Republican legislation, but economics is in theory a nonpartisan issue. There are broke areas of Democratic districts, broke areas of rural Republican districts, opportunities. Everybody, no matter what color, if you're red, blue, green, sky, whatever. Most people looking for opportunities, and I think that's an issue that can resonate on both sides of the aisle, regardless of who's in office. So that's kind of my plan for this specific seat.
All right. So for those who would critique or do critique the fact that some of us, myself included, are quite critical of elders not getting out of the way. Is the age of your opponent one of the leading reasons why you're challenging him? Yes or no?
No, that's not the leading reason. No, like I said, the first time I ran against him, he'll be 81 in a couple of weeks, so he is up there. But the reason I ran against him the first time is because, like I said, I didn't know if he would get back in office. HISD was literally basically, it seemed like it was a dumpster fire, and it has been a dumpster fire in a lot of ways. And I told him this. I was like, you may or may not get back in. So it wasn't that he was, he's been older. So that was an issue. But after running against him then, it was like, oh no, you just don't get the issue. So it's substantive at this point. And I mean, it's a factor. It's like a thing to keep in mind, but that's like down the road. It's like, okay, well, if you haven't addressed this, you're really not addressing this either. You're not being effective in the legislature. You're not doing the work we need. You're not bringing the voters out. And you happen to be older, and you happen to be a nearly 81-year-old stroke survivor. Like, it's probably not a good idea for you to just stay in there. And we see what happens when Democrats stay out of office. They have no incentive to fill those offices. So yeah, that it's one of those things to consider. But it's like when we had our Chronicle interview, it's one of the things I mentioned like last, like maybe about 45 minutes into the interview is when I got to that part. It's like that's something to consider. But the bigger issue is not being present, not addressing the issues the underlying issues that are causing the school district. Because I think as a former school board member, schools are kind of like your bellwether of the neighborhood. Schools are doing well, your neighborhood is probably solid around it, and vice versa. If your school's not doing so well, the neighborhood around it is probably not in the best of health either, best of shape either. So schools are important, a part of the community, but they are a part of the community, not the there's the underlying factors that affect those things. So.
Okay. All right. Something came to mind, so y'all know I have to write it down right quick while it's still in my head. Okay, so tell us about yourself. What is your family makeup? I know your father, your husband. I've known your wife longer than I've known you. So tell us about your family and what it's like being the father of two dynamic kids, young adult. Well,
18 and 15.
So one young adult.
So I'm a father, a husband, and father too. My wife and I met in law school. And she's an attorney / author. I have a senior and a sophomore in high school. So we have one that's finishing school, doing the dual credit program. So she's going to finish with the associates, which I find fantastic because when we were at school, I was like, I remember AP classes, but you have to like pay for the test, and if you don't pass the test, you're out of the money. So it was like, whereas this, like, no, you get the credit, right? And through their school district is actually free. So I was like, you get a free associates while you're in school. That's the program you do. I don't care what. So she's finishing up. She's a cheerleader at her school, and her brother's a sophomore. So she wants to do. She's into music and business. So those are kind of the things she's going to be. She's looking to get a business degree with a minor in music. And then my son is interested in engineering. He is a sophomore. He just outrooted me this summer, so there's that dynamics. Like now he's the tallest, the youngest person in the house, and the tallest person in our house now. So that's kind of weird looking up to the child. The baby families now. You got to kind of tip my neck up a little bit for him now.
So he's been walking his father's shoes though as an engineer, because Danny's an engineer.
Yeah, my first degree was chemical engineering. So I'm very big on the math and sciences. I tell people at this phase, even my current job, one of the things they liked when I was applying to become the first Prop A lawyer for the city attorney's office was that, hey, I'm an engineer, and what that degree shows you that I can problem solve. And and most of these positions, even the state rep position, is a matter of a number of problems. And the question is, who can figure out this problem? My degree basically shows that I can solve complex problems pretty quickly. And that's what that's my kind of my thought in the legislature. But my son, he's a typical 15-year-old who wants to game and he wants to, he likes math and science. So I'm all here for it. So.
Oh wow, I love that. Are y'all a pet family?
We have a dog. We have a German Shepherd.
Oh,
we got a big dog.
A big dog.
I was like, if we're gonna get a dog.
Yeah, a dog.
Don't need to get a dog that's gonna get beat up out.
Is your dog named King? Black folks be like a German Shepherd named King.
His name is Spartacus.
Oh. King. So essentially his name is King. Okay.
That's my wife's idea.
I love it. And give her my love.
Will do.
I haven't seen her in a while. But as you're out here on this campaign trail, I know we're gonna get to the big moment from last month, the viral moment. But what are you hearing when you're out in the community from voters, from taxpayers, from homeowners, from parents, from strangers in the grocery store? What are you hearing? What's the pulse of the community as it concerns District 142?
Opportunity. Everybody's looking for opportunity, and they want people that are present. They're a lot of times I blog walk and all of those things. So like they're glad to see people actually show up to the door. Because that's almost a thing in the past. Everybody thinks that you just rely on social media these days. I know they actually want to see people. They want to hear who you are, feel you out, kind of kick the tires, see your thoughts on. Sometimes they'll grill you and figure out like where do you stand on these issues. If you're gonna represent me, I want to know like what you really believe. But ultimately, they want people that they feel care and will actually do and represent them when they go to places like Austin or DC, depending on what the position people are running for. So yeah, I got the feeling that people are definitely, they're not fans of Abbott, to say the least. So they don't want people that necessarily just like do his bidding. They want people that are gonna figure out how to bring those resources back to them without basically compromising the people like Abbott. And long term, to do that properly, I mean, winning the position is one thing, but ultimately long term, districts like mine are the ones that are gonna have to really turn out to make Texas have a shot of having a better overall government. Because in my district, I think there's like 134,000 people that are of age to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Like around 95,000 are registered to vote. And in the last cycle in 2024, during the presidential cycle, only 55,000 voted during the election. So there's a lot of headroom in districts like mine. We need 20, 40,000, we need a whole lot of those people to come out. Even if you can get half of those people who didn't come out to come out. If you do that across Texas, that's how Democrats at least move the needle. Even if you got like this upcoming election, even if like Abbott does not win, but he got a real close election, I think that would actually make them moderate. Because right now they don't care. I mean, they're up there talking about Sharia laws and all kind of foolishness, talking about Texas going to fight Sharia laws. Like, is it really that big? I mean, are we really having those kind of issues in Texas where we're the same place we're posting the 10 Commandments? Same place we're posting the 10 Commandments as a requirement in schools. That is not a Sharia law is not a real issue in Texas. But they want to fight the cultural wars, and we don't have time. We have people that need money, opportunity. AI is about to take a lot of jobs. People need stuff right now. I mean, you go to McDonald's at halftime, you don't got to stop with 1 or 2 people because they have, computer
automation.
Automation to do a lot of these things. So yeah, things about to change, and people are trying to figure out what to do. And that's, we don't have time for the cultural wars if they're trying to fight to get people riled up over business.
So tell me, in District 142, are there any workforce programs that are pushed by the current administration of the district?
I mean, there are some around. I don't hear a big focus on them.
Okay.
I know like some of the multi-service centers do have some. I don't see a whole lot of advocacy in that regards. Because even when I was at the polls, I've seen people say, "Hey, do y'all do work?" Like, thinking I worked at the multi-service and I was at the service. So people are looking for work, and clearly the idea that they can find opportunities in places like that is like still not quite widely. Yeah. So I mean, that's a resource issue, because you got to make sure you put that word out. There needs to be signs, billboards. They need to have like social media campaigns, like come get some opportunity, come get some skill training to be able to do some of these things that are coming up here. And these are some of the places you get it, especially for free.
Yeah. How does that fit into your plan for District 142 workforce resources and programs?
It's to amplify and give enough room, because a lot of those programs, they seem like they have a lot of capacity for more people. So giving them the resources to be able to advertise to get those up to capacity, and then ideally expanding them. That's my idea, because even when I was at Harris County Department of Education as a trustee, we had an adult education program, and all the services were free to people in the county. And I actually, one of my last things I went to as a trustee was like they had a signing day where all the people who went through the program and got jobs.
Oh, wow.
They had a signing day, and it was like, 50 or so students that had went through the program. They got some, got some jobs. Yeah, they got certifications, got some jobs. And one of the guys actually, I got to talk to him for a little bit. I found out he was actually staying at Star Hope, which is a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And I was like,
wow.
Oh, life is about to change for you big time.
Yeah.
Like, you got a job, and you can now get a place to stay. So a reliable place to stay. You don't have to stay somewhere like that. So I mean, my thing was like, how do we up programs like that to capacity where, as opposed to 50 students, we have 500 or 5,000 students to upskill to get them some much better paying jobs. So that's what I would love to see, programs like that. And that I think they have some of the satellite programs are in the district, but the actual headquarters and the adult education center are slightly, but it's not far from the district. So finding things in the district or close to the district where people have easy access to go do those things, and make sure that they have the resources to go to the programs, right, to participate in programs and go contribute, and go out there and get some better paying jobs and go and thrive. So
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So one of the big issues all over the United States, so it's
Mhm.
not just a Houston thing, but it is big in Houston,
Mhm.
is our homeless and unhoused
Mhm.
community, and
Mhm.
it's expanding.
Yeah.
Daily, it's growing.
Mhm.
What have you seen in terms of the unhoused in District 142?
Mhm.
Have you seen resources come their way? Have you seen a decline, or is 142 experiencing an increase of visible
Mhm.
homelessness and unhoused population?
I do see them. I have not done a study on the homeless population, although I do see them. And we all see homeless people
Mhm.
everywhere, and not just in the city. I think a lot of us see them in the city, but I've been on the I've seen some taking shelter under the Beltway, which
Mhm.
means they're on the edge of town,
Mhm.
out by me, and it's uh, when I see, and if I have some things, sometimes personally I'll go drop some things off if I can, but ultimately it's going to be a matter of it's going to be there's another matter of resources now, and I didn't realize this until maybe a few years ago. Somebody said that around a third of the population of homeless are veterans,
Yeah.
which is wild. Which means that means our federal government is failing because I said these are people who have served our nation, and for whatever reason we haven't figured out how to at least get them some treatment and some services that will because if you're a veteran, then that means you should have access to a number of services already. And so, partnering up with the feds on those to figure out, okay, this is the homeless population we have in our city. This third that have VA benefits or VA, how do we make sure that they are taking advantage of those and don't have to resort to pitching a tent under a bridge or in a field somewhere. Even at City Hall, I work in the annex building across from City Hall. As soon as I leave the garage, there's a little bridge that they they just can't ride out.
Like a little tent city.
Yep,
I know
right.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's so we don't have to go very far. We literally walk out the back door and see them kind of posting up. So it's definitely an issue that we should be putting more into. They don't have to be there, especially like I said, if you have VA benefits even more. It's that's a big failure, I think, because we should be able to.
It is storming. I just realized, what is that? AC, but that is a thunderstorm. I saw the lightning earlier.
Mhm.
So, yes, we do have to do more for that segment of our community, our citizens,
Right.
that are unhoused. And now that makes me think of the unhoused right now as it's storming right now.
Mhm.
Just another pivot. I know Fifth Ward is a part of 142.
Yep.
Is Edo parts of Edo in there?
Yeah. So I tell people it's from Fifth Ward out to Lake Houston. So the Edo that's a part of Fifth Ward, yes.
So down to Navigation.
Navigation is on the other side.
Okay.
Anything north of Buffalo Bayou.
Okay,
So,
north of Buffalo Bayou.
Yeah. So the Fifth Ward, East River area.
East River.
Yeah. That's part of
East River, that part of Jensen.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there have been, I was asking to make sure I thought that in my head, I had the map correct. We've had quite a bit of people, their remains recovered from Buffalo Bayou, mainly Buffalo Bayou, because of how the other bayous feed into Buffalo Bayou. And Buffalo Bayou carries everything out into the Galveston Bay and ultimately into the Gulf.
Right.
With this, I'll use the word record. I really don't think it's record. I think there probably have been more in the past because the water's just really low here. But with these numerous recoveries of deceased people, what, if anything, has been advocated from District 142? Because a lot of these are coming through 142. And maybe this is a question for the incumbent, but I'm asking you because you're running in this race. Have you heard of anything come down from your representative? Because he is your representative. Have you heard anything come down to address what is happening across the Metroplex as it relates to these deceased people?
I have not. I have not heard anything specifically about it. It's not to say that they're there isn't any addressing, anything addressing, anybody addressing it, but I have not heard anything specifically as of yet. I think that it's been drawn to the focus as of late, so it's one of those things that we're now noticing. We're paying attention, like you said, it probably has been going on a lot longer than we thought. And yes, the Buffalo Bayou is the barrier for the district. So Buffalo Bayou is the border. So yeah, they're basically coming through there. So but I haven't heard anything that I can think of from his office, or really, I can't think of really anybody's office that's really addressing, other than the media, saying, by the way, they found another body in the Buffalo Bayou. Right. So I haven't heard of any action or any whether it be HPD thing or whether it be some investigation on where these bodies coming from, how they ended up there. Are they stumbling in there? Are they getting tossed in there? What's going on? I think some people are asking, serial killer. There's been like 34 bodies.
Serial killer.
They've been told no serial killer. We've been told.
No serial killer.
Yeah, no, but whatever it is, how do people stumble? How do people find themselves in the bayou? It will be good to know, because anytime you have any problem, and it's always good to figure out how do you get there. I think the idea is, this is no pun intended, but like upstream. You try to figure out what's causing the issue. So if bodies are ending up in the bayou, how are these people ending up in the bayou? What's causing people to find themselves in the bayou? And if it's, people are, I think they had a similar thing in like Travis County in Austin, where they were saying people was turning up in the, in the Lady Bird Lake. Yeah, so they're like, what are causing people to do that? I don't know if they ever figured that out either, but it would be good to figure out what's the issue, how are these people ending up there, if there's anything that the city or state or they can provide, or the county. And
that's what I was asking, because the next part of that is, how will you, as state representative for District 142, how will you use your power, your influence in the House, in the state legislature, and here locally, to push forward investigations more transparently and to provide more education to the public about, for me, because I'm a nerd, I stay up late at night, but about the bayou system.
Right.
How will you, how do you see yourself influencing our bayou system and these, as the headlines say, bodies in the bayou?
Right.
How would you position yourself to bring comfort to the community while also addressing the issue?
Right. So I think seeing that big projects that are going on in the district, like East River, is a huge project. And if people don't feel safe on Buffalo, and it's right on Buffalo Bayou. So if people do not feel safe on Buffalo Bayou, it's gonna be a big problem for that. And it is, they're investing billions of dollars, over in that area. So it's going to require, it definitely will require people to feel safe to go down those bayous, and nobody wants to turn up in it. So I think, yes, having some resources put towards, whether it be investigation or like having an idea of a campaign of how does this work, what is going on. So people do need to feel comfortable, and they need to know, this person, if they can find a common trend, people are, whether they're homeless and they kind of like pass and like, find themselves falling in there, or if they're, if they get thrown in there, whatever's going on, I think it would be good to know exactly what happened. Because I think, when you see news stories and you say this person got, robbed and this is how it happened, the next story, and the reason it's good to know that is because I shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
If stop from doing that will keep me from being in that situation, that's good to know. I posted exactly how it happened for people to say, do not do this. I was on my phone trying to take a picture of the receipt or something like that. Guy pulled up before I even noticed. It was late, and all these things that I shouldn't have done. I posted a very in-depth story to say, this is what I did. These are the things I suggested.
Well, there goes my going out to eat. I
said you don't got to go out to eat, but you should be a little bit more observant of your surroundings.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was one of my lessons. Like, yeah, I was up there trying to snap a picture of Fetch on my phone and try to get my receipt, and all kind of silliness that I should have been paying a little bit closer attention. Maybe I would know that guy pull up right in front of me And I'm sitting there thinking he's asking for directions when he pulls up. So
He was not. I remember that story.
yeah, I was like, is that a gun? Wait a minute. Hold up.
Yeah.
Is that no directions? Hold up.
Yeah.
I'm getting robbed.
Yeah. Well, as we get ready to come to a close, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I know we talk all the time, so I've heard a lot of this. This has been very rich. I've enjoyed you. Share with the audience where they can find you online, learn more about your campaign, your platform, your issues.
I'm super easy to find. Danny Norris 4tx.com. I'm on all the socials. I'm on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, all that. I'm super easy to find. My website has, if you want to check out the campaign, the website has a lot of that on there. It has a lot of the basics, and it'll take you to other things. If you want to join, be a volunteer, you have, the two biggest links at the top is to be able to join us and volunteer and or donate. Yeah. So I tell people running the campaigns like running the church. You gotta spread the good news about it. Then you gotta beg for time and talent as they say in church.
Yeah.
That means money and volunteers. So
yeah,
that's how it gets done in practice in the real world.
And I'll be very transparent. I am a supporter of Danny. I've been a donor.
I appreciate it.
Both times around. He's on auto. Like I saw that money come out Saturday. I was like, where did $100 go? Oh, Danny.
And I appreciate
Danny. But I just like to be transparent so people know that I do have my favorites, but I will always tell you that they're actually my favorites. And so I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Before you all leave us, please make sure that you follow the Houston Civics and Leadership Campaign School online on all the platforms, particularly Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you follow. We are doing some updates to our website, or they are, because this is Pretty Petty Politics. The campaign school is doing some updates to their website. And so you'll see a few changes. They just completed their first cohort. Our producer was a part of that cohort, our friend here. So we are really excited to see that nonprofit grow, and you can support them and make sure you follow them online to hear more about what's coming. There's a big announcement coming soon. Secondly, early voting starts in 14, 15 days.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah, so it's close. It's happening. And we have a lot of big races. Yesterday was the last day to register to vote.
Right.
So get ready. And lastly, before we go, because we had a historic moment yesterday, Christian Deshaun Menifee was sworn into Congress. I mean, many of us weren't expecting him to be sworn in that fast.
After this long,
yeah, so we didn't know if there were going to be some funny business and make him wait like they did the young lady from Arizona. So I'm very proud to see the 18th have representation after being so long.
Right.
Being a resident and a voter in the 18th and not having representation for nearly a year, it is worth celebration. I don't care who you voted for. It is worth celebrating that we now have someone that we can call on and that will hear our voices. Yeah.
11 months is long enough.
Long enough, I swear. So again, congratulations to the Menifee team, that whole team, and to our new member of Congress. And thank you to our viewers. Please tune in. We're back here tomorrow at noon with Abby Kamen, who is running for county attorney, which was Christian's previous position. And tomorrow evening, we have Anise Parker, who's a candidate for Harris County judge. So don't miss it. And if you do miss it, just press the replay on YouTube and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube or watch it on the playback on Facebook. But that's it for tonight. Thank you and good night.